Nutrition and digestion. For further information, as always, you can go to the individual articles on nutrition, digestion, and digestive system. This is on Wikipedia there. So animals are heterotrophs as they feed on other living organisms to obtain energy and organic compounds. They are capable or they are able to obtain food in three major ways, such as targeting visible food objects, collecting tiny food particles, or depending on microbes for critical food need. Yeah, so the amount of energy stored in food can be quantified based on the amount of heat. Yes, food and amount of heat measured in calories or kilojoules emitted when the food is burnt in the presence of oxygen, which is quite interesting. So energy equals heat, which is motion. And this is burnt in the presence of oxygen. So in MES science, you could view that as trapped or condensed motion, and then you're opening it with a key, or that oxygen there, and it opens up into fire. Some good analogies. Anyways, MES note the calorie, this right here, is a unit of energy defined as the amount of heat needed to raise the temperature of a quantity of water by 1 degree. For historical reasons, two main definitions of calorie are in wide use. Yeah, so you have the small calorie or gram calorie, denoted CAL, not capital C. It's a lowercase c, AL. And is the amount of heat needed to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius or 1 Kelvin. The large calorie, food calorie, or kilocalorie is a CA. This is usually what's found on nutrition labels. Yeah, CA, or yeah, this calorie with a capital C, or KCAL, or basically kilocalorie, or 1,000 times bigger than the just a small calorie right there. Yes, most widely used in nutrition is the amount of heat needed to cause the same increase in 1 kilogram of water. So yes, 1 kilogram of water increased by 1 degree, versus the small calorie is just 1 gram. This is kilogram. Thus, 1 kilocalorie, this kcal, equals to 1,000 calories, cal. Calorie relates, this word calorie relates to the metric system, and therefore to the SI system, which is International System of Units. The SI unit of energy is the joule, and 1 calorie is defined as exactly 4.184 joules, and that's more lowercase right here. And 1 big calorie with a capital C, kilocalorie, is 4,184 joules, or 4.184 kilojoules, kg. So yes, it's usually measured in kilojoules or big calories. So this is not the not the small calories. So big calorie or kilojoules or kilocalories. Anyway, so if an animal were to consume food that contains an excess amount of chemical energy, it will store most of that energy in the form of lipids or fat for future use, and some of that energy as glycogen for immediate use, e.g. meeting the brain's energy needs. So you need some of the energy right away. The molecules in food are chemical building blocks that are needed for growth and development. These molecules include nutrients or macronutrients. Yeah, describing these right here, such as carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, whereas vitamins and minerals, e.g. calcium, Ca, magnesium, Mg, sodium, Ca, sodium, Na, not Ca, and phosphorus, pH, are also essential. And here, this is P, not pH. So phosphorus is P, are also essential. MES note: a vitamin is an organic molecule that is an essential micronutrient which an organism needs in small quantities for the proper functioning of its metabolism. Yes, and we went over vitamins and or essential nutrients earlier in the video, but to go over it again. So essential nutrients cannot be synthesized in the organism either at all or not in sufficient quantities, and therefore must be obtained through the diet. Vitamin C right here, H8O6 can be synthesized by some species, but not by others. So thus it is not a vitamin in the first instance. Yeah, because remember, a vitamin is an essential micronutrient. Essential nutrients cannot be synthesized in the organism. Yeah, but it is in the second one right here. So so some species can synthesize it, some can't. So it's not a vitamin in this one. but it is in the ones that can't synthesize it. So the term vitamin does not include the 3 other groups of essential nutrients, such as minerals, essential fatty acids, and essential amino acids. Most vitamins are not single molecules, but groups of related molecules called vitamers or vitamers. See the pronunciation here.
Vitamer.
All right, let's continue further. So in the context of nutrition, a mineral is a chemical element required as an essential nutrient by organisms to perform functions necessary for life. So this other type of essential nutrients, you have the minerals right here, as opposed to vitamins. Basically don't include these right here. So the mineral is a chemical element required as an essential nutrient by organisms to perform functions necessary for life. However, the 4 major structural elements in the human body by weight, oxygen, hydrogen, carbon, and nitrogen, are usually not included in lists of major nutrient minerals. Nitrogen is also considered nitrogen is considered a mineral, a quote, mineral for plants, as it is often included in fertilizers. So yes, these ones are essential, but they're usually not stated there. It's because the minerals typically means for a small amount. And these ones are the 4 major ones. But then in plants, this is also sometimes labeled as mineral because it's included in fertilizers. So these 4 elements compose about 96% of the weight of the human body. So essentially, it's not that it's necessary. It's that this is you. So yeah, this is you. And major minerals or macro minerals and minor minerals are also called trace elements, compose the remainder. Yeah, so the major minerals and then minor minerals, or trace elements, barely any of them, and then you have the macro minerals, more of them than the others. And so here's an illustration of that, just to illustrate how much there is. So figure this one is from thoughtco.com. So illustration of the makeup of the human body. So the human body, so 62% of it is water, 16% is protein, you have 16% fat, and 1% carbohydrate, and you have minerals is 6%. And then you have this element, oxygen is 65% of the body, so, and then carbon is 18%, hydrogen is 9.5%, and then this nitrogen, this is right here, it's 3.2%, and then calcium 1.5%. Yeah, then you have phosphorus right here, 1.2%, and this is by weight. Yeah, I believe it's by weight. So 96% of it, of those 4, is by weight. Of the weight of the body, that's 4. So OHCN. So you have OHCN right there, and then there's the major mineral or the macro mineral right here. So major mineral, you consider that calcium, then you have phosphorus, etc. Then you have this could be considered trace ones, or some of these trace, some of them, like, some of them could be trace, or some of them could be macros, the bigger ones, possibly. Anyways, this is K, potassium 0.4%, S, sulfur 2.2%, sodium, Na 0.2%, and then chlorine 0.2%, magnesium 0.1%, and then you have others that make up the altogether make up over 1%. So fascinating stuff. Let's continue further. So in geology and mineralogy, just to illustrate the difference between minerals when you're talking about the human body or just animal organisms. So in geology and mineralogy, a mineral or mineral species is, broadly speaking, a solid chemical compound with a fairly well-defined chemical composition and a specific crystal structure, which is orderly repeating structure, that occurs naturally in pure form. Yeah, so essentially a solid crystalline structured chemical compound that's in a well-defined composition, and it's naturally occurs in pure form. As opposed to this one, we were talking about just trace elements or small amounts of elements inside the organism, in this case humans. So the digestive system, which typically consists of a tubular tract or path that extends from the mouth to the anus, is involved in the breakdown or digestion of food into small molecules as it travels down peristaltically. Let's see this pronunciation.
Peristaltically.
Peristaltically through the gut lumen shortly after it has been ingested. These small food molecules are then absorbed into the blood from the lumen, or the opening there, or just the cavity inside the vessel, where they are then distributed to the rest of the body as building blocks, e.g. amino acids, or sources of energy, e.g. glucose or sugar there. And these building blocks build up protein. and this is glucose used for energy. So for ATP production and usage, etc. So MES note peristalsis. See that again?
Peristalsis.
Yeah, peristalsis is a radially symmetric contraction and relaxation of muscles that propagates in a wave down a tube. That's very, very interesting. Let's see how this looks. So here's peristalsis right here. Let's make it smaller. All right, so a simplified image showing peristalsis. So you have an object inside, and then you'll have us pause that. Let's go back and pause it. How do we go back? I guess go scroll up here. We'll actually do it right there. The circular muscle contraction, the bulbous or stuff inside. Circular muscle relaxation over there. And then that's relaxed. This is contract. This is pushing it out. And then it switches up. And that's going to relax. It's going to be pushing up always. So it creates a wave that moves the object down the tube. All right, let's continue further. So ingestion, that's we mentioned over here. So it peristaltically goes down through the gut lumen shortly after it has been ingested, or basically ingested is a consumption of a substance by an organism, or just taken in, etc. Yeah, and now we get take a look at this figure here. This is different digestive systems in marine fishes. So we have an eel here, and notice how they all have just a big tube, or just a long tube that goes from the mouth to the anus over there. So we have here's in this brown area, that's the mouth, so all the mouth there. Then you have the esophagus, or the food pipe. Yes, it goes down. There's a yellow part on all of them. Then you have the stomach. So this one has stomach eels, the elongated one. There's a big one over there. And this one doesn't have a stomach here. And this is a blenny or slash goby. This is salmid or salmond, or salmon and slash sea bass. And this is a mullet or mullet, however we want to pronounce that. And now over on here, this next part here, this is dark brown. This is pyloric casecia. Let's see the pronunciation here. That's over here. I'm just going to bold this and pronounce it right now.
Pyloric ceca.
Yeah, pyloric ceca or ceca. All right. Yeah, so I'll just call it pyloric ceca. So just quickly pause the video and Google search it, and that's as a similar pronunciation there. So anyways, the pyloric ceca, that is this dark brown. Notice one over here. So that one has it there. Let's see if another one has it. This also has it over there. And let's continue further. The midgut is this green setup over here. So there's a green, the midgut over here. And now the next one is a hindgut in blue, or the back gut. There's the back one over there. Connecting right to the anus there. Anyways, and then the next one is the gallbladder. And let's see where the gallbladder is on this one. This one has a gallbladder right over there. That's that bluish, greenish bluish there. And then the gizzard, or let's see the pronunciation on this one, over here.
Gizzard.
Yeah, or gizzard. So you have the gizzard, that's in this pinkish area. And let's have a look at it. I think the only one that you can see is over there. You have to zoom in to see that. Let's see if we can zoom in. Yeah, and zoom in and scroll down. Yeah, there it is. There's a pinkish area over there. All right, let's just zoom back out and let's go over some of those terms, or just the two ones that we haven't come across. It's this pyloric ceca and the gizzard. So the MES note many fishes or many fish have a number of small outpocketings called pyloric ceca along their intestine. Their purpose is to increase the overall surface area of the digestive epithelium, or that skin layer over there, or that lining layer of the digestive system, therefore optimizing the absorption of sugars, amino acids, and dipeptides, or that two amino acid chains, among other nutrients. So that's a smaller outpocketings along their intestine. And that is the pyloric ceca, this brown one. Notice that it's stretching outside of this, that intestine there, just to add more surface area or more area and volume. Yeah, so to increase overall surface area to be able to absorb more nutrients, so overall surface area. And the gizzard, also referred to as the ventricles or gastric mill or gigarium or gigarium, see this?
Gagerium.
Gagerium is an organ found in the digestive tract of some animals, including archosaurs, the reptiles, which is this pterosaurs. See this?
Pterosaur.
Or pterosaurs. This is extinct flying lizards, crocodiles, alligators, dinosaurs, birds, etc., and earthworms. Some gastropods, which are basically snails and slugs. Some fish and some crustaceans. Yeah, the crustaceans, the one I mentioned earlier was crabs, etc. Yeah, lobsters, shrimp, and so on. So this specialized stomach constructed of thick muscular walls is used for grinding up food, often aided by particles of stone or grit. And grit basically is sand or gravel, just anything coarse, small particles, etc. Yeah, that could be used to assist in grinding up the food inside this muscular wall, inside this gizzard right there. And let's see that. Let's take a look at that gizzard over there. That's over right here. So that thick muscular wall. It has thick muscular walls there, and used to grind up food and so on, which is pretty interesting setup there. Anyways, let's continue further. So in addition to their digestive tract, vertebrate animals have accessory glands such as a liver and pancreas as part of their digestive systems. The processing of food in these animals begins in the foregut or the front gut, which includes the mouth, esophagus, and stomach. Mechanical digestion of food starts in the mouth, with the esophagus serving as a passageway for food to reach the stomach, where it is stored and disintegrated by the stomach's acids or stomach acid for further processing. Upon leaving the stomach, food enters in the midgut, which is the first part of the intestine or small intestine in mammals, and is the principal. And this midgut is the first part or the principal site of digestion and absorption of nutrients. Food that does not get absorbed are stored as an indigestible waste or feces in the hindgut, which is the second part of the intestine or large intestine in mammals. So the small one is that midgut, and then you have the large one is that in mammals there for the second part. The second part of the intestine, which is called the hindgut. So the hindgut then completes the reabsorption of needed water and salt prior to eliminating the feces from the rectum, which is the final portion of the large intestine, to your a-hole. I mean, just note the small intestine or small bowel is an organ in the gastrointestinal tract where most of the absorption of nutrients from food takes place. It lies between the stomach and large intestine and receives bile and pancreatic juice through the pancreatic duct to aid in digestion. Yeah, so after the stomach goes to the small intestine or small bowel, and then after that is the large intestine. So anyways, the large intestine, also known as the large bowel, is the last part of the gastrointestinal tract and one of the digestive systems in vertebrates. Water is absorbed is absorbed here, and the remaining waste material stored in the rectum as feces before being removed by defecation. The rectum is the final straight portion of the large intestine in humans and some other mammals, and the gut in others. Defecation or defecation with AE there. See how this is pronounced?
Defecation.
Defecation. See this regular?
Defecation.
Yeah, so defecation, defecation, it's called defecation, is the final act of digestion, by which organisms eliminate a solid, semi-solid, or liquid waste material known as feces from the digestive tract via the anus. All right, or the a-hole. All right, let's have a look over here. All right, so let's make it a bit smaller so we could see this a bit better. So diagram showing the small intestine and surrounding structures. So we have over here the stomach there. There's the large intestine or colon. This is a big giant one. And there's a small intestine. So you have the duodenum connected over the first part of the stomach. Then you have the duodenum, the middle part. And then you have this purple part, the last part. That is the, this ileum. Or we'll try to pronounce that soon. So anyways, going further. So the Yeah, so the duodenum is the first section of the small intestine. See the pronunciation here.
Duodenum.
Yeah, the duodenum is the first section of the small intestine. The duodenum.
Jejunum.
Jejunum is the second part, and the ileum.
Ileum.
The ileum is the final section of the small intestine. Alright, so continue further and take a look at this figure that goes through all of these types of guts. So this figure is from, let's see, the website is quizlet.com. So, so here's the pharyngeal gut. This could be considered as the oral cavity and the pharynx, that opening over there. Then you have now the esophagus. Now you have this one in blue. According to this figure, this represents the part of the foregut. So now you have the foregut, which includes the esophagus or the food pipe. Then you have the stomach. Then you have the duodenum. Then you have the liver. Liver's over here. There's duodenum right there. That connection right to the stomach. And then you have, then you have the liver over here. You have the pancreas here. And then the next section, notice that it cuts off over here. So now the next section is the midgut. And the midgut includes this lower part of the duodenum right here. So yeah, that's interesting. So basically this foregut, like if you can see it, I think it cuts off over here. So it considers the duodenum, the first part of it there, as part of the foregut. And then the next part, you have the duodenum. Then you have the jejunum, or let's see that again, pronunciation here.
Jejunum.
Oh, jejunum. So they have the jejunum over here. That's first part over there of the small intestine. Then there's the ileum, the second part over there. And now you have the ascending colon. This is also considered part of it according to this this classification system right here. So then the midgut, the last part is right 2/3 of transverse colon. So this goes over here. This is the 2/3 part there. And now what we have here is now if you look at the hindgut, that is the left the left 1/3, and it's left because we're looking at a person. This is a person's left side, but we're looking at this is the right for our perspective, but that person's left colon there. So left 1/3. Then you have the descending colon as well, and that's part of the hindgut, and it also includes the rectum and anal canal. And now the sigmoid right here, this is just this part. That's just this part over here of the hindgut. That's very, very interesting setup over there. And also this part right here, that's the appendix. We'll get to that in a bit. Let's just do some erasing and continue further. So, and also this, the sigmoid or the sigmoid colon or pelvic colon is the last part of the large intestine that is closest to the rectum and anus. So large intestine is, this big giant thing over there. All right, let's continue further. And the appendix or vermiform, see the pronunciation?
Vermiform.
A vermiform appendix.
Appendix.
Yeah, also right here, this is the cecal. Oh, see this?
Cecal or...
Yeah, cecal or the seical.
Cecal.
Or cecal with an E there. And then the appendix, then also called vermix or vermiform process, is a finger-like blind-ended tube connected to the cecum. See the pronunciation here?
Cecum.
Yeah, from which it develops in the embryo. And the cecum is let's bold this right here. The cecum is a pouch-like structure of the large intestine located at the junction of the small and large intestines. And we can see that right here. So this is this part right here. There's a cecum right here, the junction between the small and the large. And there's the appendix right there. And yes, very, very interesting. Let's continue further here. Yeah, so the cecum is a pouch-like structure of the large intestine located at the junction of the small and large intestines. The term vermiform comes from the Latin and means worm-shaped, and the appendix used to be considered a vestigial, or see the pronunciation?
Vestigial.
Or vestigial. A vestigial organ, but this view has changed over the past decades. Research suggests that the appendix may serve an important purpose. In particular, it may serve as a reservoir for beneficial gut bacteria. Note here on this human vestigiality. Let's see the pronunciation here.
Vestigiality.
Or vestigiality. So, in the context of human evolution, human vestigiality involves traits such as organs or behaviors occurring in humans that have lost all or most of their original function through evolution. Although structures called vestigial, or let's see this again,
vestigial
or vestigial often appear functionless, a vestigial structure may retain lesser functions or develop minor new ones. In some cases, structures once identified as vestigial or vestigial simply had an unrecognized function. So we'll just do that here. That's the key point. Unrecognized. Vestigial organs are sometimes called rudimentary organs. The examples of human vestigiality are numerous, including the anatomical, such as the human tailbone, wisdom teeth, and inside corner of the eye, and the behavioral, such as goosebumps and Palmar grasp reflex, and molecular, the pseudogenes, which we went over earlier. And let's just have a gander at the pseudogenes right here. Pseudogenes. So we went over that over here. Pseudogenes are non-functional segments of DNA that resemble functional genes, and most arise as superfluous copies of functional genes, either directly by DNA duplications or indirectly by reverse transcription of an mRNA transcript. Yeah, so basically pseudogenes are non-functional segments that represent functional genes. I think we did copy and paste that twice there. Okay, so yes, that is what they are. Yeah, so anyway, so yeah, basically pseudogenes are usually so they're non-functional segments of DNA that represent or resemble other functional ones. So let's go back over here and pseudo race, and let's go over here. All right, so we're back here, and many human characteristics are also vestigial in other primates and related animals. So that's interesting. Yeah, so other primates and related animals have parts that humans have that, but they don't have that function or that similar function anymore. And let's take a look at some of these right here. So there's the this is the wisdom teeth right here. So the wisdom teeth. This is an extra set here. This is from myhealth.alberta.ca. So wisdom teeth are just an extra set of teeth there, and the furthest back over there, called the molars over there. So you have the molars, the usual two. But you may also have a wisdom teeth over there, and sometimes it might be impacting over here. So impacted wisdom teeth here, so impacting the other teeth there. So supposedly this is a vestigial setup there, or organ or bone. Yeah, let's continue further. So now the tailbone right here. This one, it's also called the coccyx. Let's see the pronunciation here.
coccyx.
Or coccyx. Let's see that again. See that again.
Or coccyx.
Or coccyx. All right. So tailbone. This is from St. Luke's.kc.org or St. Luke'csk.org. And this is interesting. So tailbone, basically, we don't have tails anymore. Humans don't have tails anymore, and this is a vestigial feature of a bone of a possible previous tail, and according to evolutionary theory. And here's the other one, that inside corner of the eye. So inside corner of the eye right here, you get to see this figure. I got this one from Pinterest, fi.pinterest.com. Yeah, so if you watch a cat blink, you will see a white membrane cross its eye. That is called its third eyelid. It is quite a rare thing in mammals, but common in birds, reptiles, and fish. And humans have a remnant but non-working third eye. You can see it in the picture above. It has become quite small in humans. So this is that. It's also called semilunar fold. So the humans ones, and so it doesn't. That's your third eyelid, but it's not functional like it used to be anymore. Such as this crocodile here closes over, and there's a toad closes over, and there's a third eyelid, which is quite interesting. All right, continue further. So now goosebumps. These are goosebumps on a human. Yeah, notice the hair rise there, and supposedly it is to increase the hair size, like basically make all the hair stand on end. And in evolutionary thinking, or mainstream evolutionary thinking, this is supposedly to increase the size or the appearance of the animal, so that they appear bigger than they actually are, to fight off or fend off predators, scare them off, etc. But humans don't have as much hair as other animals. So very interesting. And now this is infant grasping adult finger right here. So this is the Palmar grasp reflex, or grasp reflex is a primitive and involuntary reflex found in infants of humans and most primates. biologists have found that the reflex is significantly more frequent in infants of fur-carrying primate species. It is theorized that the grasping reflex involved as it is essential to survival in species, usually primates, where the young are carried in the fur. So it's carried in the fur, and the infant's ability to grasp onto a mother's fur allows the mother to keep the infant with her while foraging or searching for food or moving from one place to another. So yes, this is involuntary auto grasp by babies. It's quite amazing.